Okay, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by all the market chatter, all the noise online, then this is for you. We're going to build a simple system to replace that investing anxiety with a really clear, structured process. Basically, we're going to learn how to turn all that noise into calm, confident decisions. Let's get right into it. And it all really starts with this idea right here. All those daily hot takes you see on social media, think of them like sugar. Yeah, you get a quick rush, but ultimately they leave you nowhere. A system, a checklist, that is the real nutrition for your portfolio. It's what actually gives you a sustainable edge over time. You know, as investors, we can basically live in one of two worlds. First, there's the world of noise. This is where you're emotional, you're reactive, it's all about that short-term sugar rush. But then there's the world of decisions. And this is our goal. This is where you're systematic, you're prepared, and you're totally focused on the long term. So, how do we actually get there? Well, the solution is surprisingly simple. It's a one-page tool we're going to call a Playbook card. This is the thing we're going to build together today, and it's designed to give you the structure you need to filter out all that noise and focus only on what truly matters for your investments. Okay, let's dive into our first building block, your thesis. Honestly, this is the absolute foundation of everything. Before you put a single penny into an investment, you have to be able to clearly state, in writing, why this investment even exists in your portfolio in the first place. So what makes a good thesis? Well, it's definitely not some vague feeling or a hot tip. A good thesis answers three very specific questions. Number one, what fundamentally has to happen for this to be a good investment? Two, by when do you expect it to happen? And three, how specifically are you going to measure if it's working? Let's make this real with a quick example. Let's imagine a fake company. We'll call it CloudCo. Now look at this thesis. It's incredibly specific, right? Grow customers by 15% and expand margins to 30%, all within 12 months, which should then drive positive free cash flow. See? No ambiguity. And maybe even more important, look at the risks listed right there. This is what you call a pre-mortem. You're thinking about everything that could go wrong before you ever click the buy button. All right, so you've got your why. Now we need to figure out the how much. And that brings us to sizing. This is all about getting away from investing based on vibes or just pure excitement and shifting to a calculated decision that's based purely on risk. This is really the key question we have to answer for ourselves. How do we take emotion out of one of the most emotional decisions in all of investing? It's not about how much you think you can make. It's about deciding right now, upfront, how much you are willing to lose if your whole idea turns out to be wrong. And we do that with this simple formula. Now, I know it might look a little bit like math class, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. You decide on your maximum acceptable loss in pounds, and then you just divide that by your risk per share. And that's just the difference between your entry price and the price where you say, nope, my thesis is broken. Let's just walk through a really quick example to see how this works. Imagine you have a 20,000-pound portfolio to start with. The very first step is to decide on your maximum pain for this single idea. A pretty common rule of thumb is to risk under 1% of your whole portfolio on any single idea. So let's just say 0.75% for this one. That means the absolute most you're willing to lose if you're wrong is 150 pounds. Okay, now let's say you've calculated your per share risk at 7 pounds. We just plug that into our formula. And there you have it. Your 150 pounds max loss divided by that 7-pound risk tells you to buy exactly 21 shares. Now, here is the key insight. Your total investment might be much bigger than 150 pounds, but your actual risk is capped at 150 pounds. Why? Because you defined it from the very beginning. You are in control, not your emotions. So let's move on to the final piece of our playbook, your rules of engagement. This is all about deciding your actions ahead of time. So instead of reacting emotionally when the market is going crazy, you'll have a clear if-then plan for exactly what to do when things change. A huge part of that plan is setting your kill switches. Think of these as your non-negotiable exit conditions that you write down when you're calm and rational. For instance, if the company cuts its guidance, boom, that breaks your thesis, you sell. If 2 quarters go by with zero progress, you sell. These are the tripwires that protect you from your own emotional reactions. Now, the other part of having rules is looking forward. You create a catalyst timeline. So instead of being surprised by news, you actually map out the key events coming up. earnings reports, product launches, investor days, anything that will help prove or disprove your thesis over, say, the next 90 days. You literally shift from being a reactor to being a preparer. Okay, we've done it. We've got our 3 core components: the thesis, the sizing, and the rules. So now let's put it all together and see what the final playbook card actually looks like. This is where the whole system really comes to life. And here it is, the final product. Everything we just talked about, all on one simple page. You've got your thesis, the what, when, and how. You've got your position size calculation, you have your kill switches, and your catalyst timeline. It's a clear, concise, and totally actionable plan for every single investment you make. This is your system for making confident decisions. So we've built the framework, but look, a system is totally useless until you actually apply it. So here's your homework. Go look at the biggest investment you own right now and ask yourself this: what is one if-then rule I can create for it today? That's how you start. That's how you begin to turn all that noise into a decision.